Another new host, his first time as well. Well, how did he do? We'll tell you what we think on this episode of the Saturday Night Review, and it starts now!
Live from Nipso Production Studios in the heart of America, it's Saturday Night Review, a podcast dedicated to the television show Saturday Night Live. With your hosts, Joseph and Dennis. And here's Denis.
Yes, welcome one and all to the 12th episode of Saturday Night Review. He is Joseph.
And he is Dennis.
And this is a YouTube podcast devoted to one of our favorite shows of all time, Saturday Night Live, and we love this show, don't we, Joseph?
I love it as much as I love you, yeah.
Oh, well, that's not very much. So, hey, Joseph, for any listeners who are out there, and some of them maybe their first time, would you mind telling them how this show kind of works?
Yeah, here's the rundown. So we talk about the host. We give them our thoughts on how they did overall. Then we go to Weekend Update. And then we take our top 3 sketches of the evening, compare them, disagree about them, argue about them, contest them, analyze them. And then we discuss next week's host. And then we just put a nice little Christmas bow on it. And then we wrap it up. And then we give it to the kiddies for Christmas.
Absolutely. And it's that time of year, isn't it?
It is that time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
so,
excited.
so yeah, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I knew that you were going to say something dumb, so I just had to cut it off.
That's a good idea because we don't want to start the show with me saying something dumb right away. We want to ease into the dumbness.
Yeah. We'll just transition, gradually.
Yes, please.
But speaking of the host and first timers, because you mentioned first timers, we did have a first timer this time around.
Yeah, Jason Mama Mia.
Mamma Mia, Jason, yeah. Mamma Mia,
Jason Mimosa. I don't know.
I'm Mimosa.
Can I say Jason? Can I say Jason?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna call him Aquaman Guy. Can we call him Aquaman Guy?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aquaman Guy, first time hosting.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, I was pretty excited going into Saturday because on the interwebs there were a couple of promos that had me laughing quite hysterically.
Yes.
And that I thought, well, we're off to a good start. And then I believe Thursday night he was on Jimmy Fallon.
Mm-hmm.
And he confessed how he was a complete nerd when it came to Saturday Night Live. He loved every show. He never missed it. I thought, wow, maybe there's a chance for you and I, Joseph. But anyway, but he talked about how much he liked it. And then I saw Leslie Jones had a couple of videos going, y'all have no idea how great this is going to be. And so I got kind of hyped up on it. Now I built my hype really high on this. And he came in, and I'm going to tell you, he did not disappoint. In my opinion, this was the best host of the season, hands down. He was huge, and he played that to his advantage by allowing them to do whatever they wanted. He played really silly roles. He played really funny roles. He was very dry. He was very goofy. He was a little bit of everything, and I just thought he was fantastic. Best host of the year, in my opinion, to this point. Hands down, not even close. And I'm not just saying that because he's a really big guy. Okay, I'm saying that because he is a very, very funny person. And he was a perfect fit for SNL. That's my opinion. Joseph, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, when you said you're not just saying that because he's a really big guy, I thought you were going to say because he's a really sexy guy. Because you could also argue that as well.
Well, yeah, I know from last show, you've got a little bit of feelings for this guy.
Something happened,
Dennis. I know.
Something happened in me,
It happens.
Yeah, so no, I'm gonna for the most part, I'm gonna agree with you. I think his geekdom actually translated into him having really, really good energy on the show. And I saw the promo as well, and I thought to myself, like, yeah, this guy's gonna bring it. I also thought this is kind of irrelevant. I also thought it was interesting. Don't know if it's been done before that he did his monologue barefoot.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was one of the things, and he's Hawaiian, obviously, but I don't know how many hosts have done that. And I thought it was kind of a unique thing. I thought
Interesting.
It was his own little stamp. So
nice.
I agree with you, and I can't wait to talk about some of the sketches that he was in.
Yes,
because I feel like overall it was a really good show. I will say that I don't know if it was my favorite show, like the best show of the season, but I have no complaints. I really have no complaints at all. Yeah. So,
well, I thought he was the best host of the season, and we'll talk about the show itself coming up. But I really, really enjoyed him. I can't wait for him to come back on. I know he has said multiple times what a dream it was to come true, and he took it with by the horns, and he took that thing, and he did a fantastic job of hosting. So, very, very, very impressed with Mr. Aquaman, and just a great job.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and it was. I mean, he had a nice opening. He confessed to being a super nerd dork, and they did the Aqua Boogie Baby, which was kind of off the wall, but he went with it. He danced around. He put his glasses on. He played right into it very well. Maybe not the funniest thing they've ever done, but he really played it up. And right there, we're off to a good start. So I am saying for me right now, with only one host left to go in the calendar year, that this was the best host we've had so far.
That's okay. All right. Yeah. That's high praise.
That's high praise from some dork living in the Midwest. But so be it. That is our praise. I guess it's time to take a little break, and we'll come back and talk about Weekend Update. Is that okay with you?
I'll allow it. Yeah.
You'll allow it?
Yeah.
What are we now? Are we like in a courtroom now?
Yeah, and I'm Judge Judy, not because she's female, just because she's a mean, kind of cool lady, I guess.
Judge Judy, and you having this idea with Aquaman, I'm starting to worry about you a little bit.
Well, when you said take the bull by the horns, I had to get a visual immediately.
I understand.
I don't know what's going on with me.
Let's take a little break, and I'll try to psychoanalyze what Joseph's been saying. We'll come back and talk about Update right after this. I'm just saying you're acting a little different there, Joseph.
Is it weird that I want to get my nails done like the kids do?
No, that's not weird. If you have the kids do it, then that's a problem. But
okay.
Yeah, don't do that. How's your wife, by the way?
She's great. You mean how is she with my questioning sexuality, or how is she just in general?
Well, I'm a little concerned. Is she okay?
So.
Yeah.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. Thank you, Bruce.
All I'm saying is, look, I'm a supporter. I completely support that organization and that group.
I appreciate that.
If you want to be a part of that group, I think you should talk to your wife. I think you should do some soul searching. I think you two should sit down, have maybe some counseling about it. And if you really feel that strongly, then, I mean, man, there's nothing better than the YMCA. Honestly, there isn't.
Well, I appreciate you for saying that. We just looked at the programs. They've got something for adults and kids alike. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm strongly leaning that way.
Good for you. I think that's a good thing. Oh, hi, Linda.
Linda, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, we were talking. She's giving us the finger.
Yeah, I know. Bless her heart, Linda. She's shaking her head at us. Linda, we love you. This section we're going to talk about Weekend Update from last week's Saturday Night Live with host Jason Momoa, or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
What did you think about Update on this show, Joseph?
So it might just be me. It was a great show overall. I feel that Weekend Update was also, I don't know, I feel it was a little bit better myself. I found myself laughing at a little bit more of the topical stuff that they were talking about. Who did we have? The only thing I found to be kind of questionable was the feature that Michael Shea did himself. I liked 80's character. I love 80 Bryant,
was that Carrie Crump? Carrie
Crump, yeah. What is it, the 7th grader who travels or something like that?
Yeah.
I found that to be pretty sweet. But again, like I'm a little biased because I love her. Overall, I like the jokes that they were telling. I don't know why. I mean, they just kind of stepped it up this week. I don't know if it had something to do with that energy that we talked about, but I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, well, I'd like to say I totally agree with you, or totally disagree with you.
Yeah,
because I like totally disagreeing with you, but in this case, we totally agree. I thought Update was much, much better. The jokes were a lot funnier. I don't know if you're presented material. Sometimes it just falls in your lap. That might have been the case here. I was not real fond of Carrie Crump. It was okay. But I did love Jay coming in as a guest. I thought that was original. I thought it was funny. The ribbing between the two of them where he says, "Shut up, you white guy." And
I did like that.
Yeah, I thought it was a neat idea. Whoever came up with it was pretty funny, just to kind of shake things up a little bit. So I kind of like Jay being a guest. I thought that was kind of amusing because they always have guest after guest after guest. And this one, he was the one. Here's what Michael Che, and Mike just turns around and sits on the other side of him and starts talking. I thought that was pretty funny.
So here's what it was clever. Here's what I'm going to say, dude. And this is not even. I feel that Michael Che is a very funny guy. I feel they're both very funny. And actually, I'm going to say that I find his humor, Michael's, a little bit more kind of edgier than Colin's. And I appreciate that. The thing that I feel, and this is going to make me sound super critical, and I'm not a critic, Michael, if you're listening to this. The things
he is.
Is the fact that his delivery, I remember, some of those past weekend anchors, I mean, their delivery was just kind of solid. And I feel that Michael always has like this kind of like smile on his face, like he's trying to keep it together, but it's not necessarily like a straight face, but it's not like a laughing with you face. And I feel that his material is so good. I really do like his material. And I do like that featurette. I feel it's like a pacing thing for me. So I mean, I do agree with you. It was a nice switch up.
It was.
And
well, they say the best thing about comedians is the most important thing is timing is important.
Yes, and so I just want to go on record as saying that I actually do think he is a very funny guy because I know that he's working to write all these things. They both are.
Oh yeah.
And they do a really good job.
Oh,
it's just fantastic. Like I said, it's the timing and the pacing for me. But aside from that, I really did like it was a good show.
It was a really, really good update. We'd had a couple that we had kind of not said they weren't. None of them have ever been bad.
No,
they've just kind of been. Oh, that was okay. Oh, exactly. That was funny. Yeah, I laughed a little bit. I laughed a lot more at this one than I have in the last couple updates that they've had.
Same.
And I don't know. Again, is it the material that they're handed that falls in their lap? Because a lot of their humor obviously comes from, what's going on in the world. And some of that is just dropped right in your lap. And how can you not make a joke out of that? And maybe it was just a better week for that. Maybe the material was just better. I don't know. But I laughed a lot more at Update. And I thought, wow, I'm so glad to feel better about Update after the last couple weeks. So well done on Update. Great job.
Well done, guys.
Yeah, well done. If you're listening, and we know you are. Hey, what's next?
Film review?
How about the top 3 skits from this show?
Oh man, that's my favorite part next to film review, of course. But yes, I love that part.
Yeah. Well, let's take a little break and let's come back with our top 3 skits from the Saturday Night Live from December 8th, I believe.
Yeah.
Featuring Jason Momoa.
I think it's Momoa.
Mimi?
Yeah, we'll get it right.
Aquaman. We're going to talk about the top 3 skits from Aquaman Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, so bye for a little bit.
Yeah, bye for just a teensy bit. So,
hey, do you think if Michael heard that, do you think like in the future we could still be friends, or would he hold that against me?
Oh, you're totally in, man. He is totally loving it.
All right.
You are so in.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Hi guys, and we're back. Welcome to the SNL review. My name is Joseph. My partner's name is Dennis. Not my life partner, just my show partner. And if you're currently listening to our podcast right now, we're about to reveal our top 3 sketches. But before we reveal these top 3 sketches, it does help to announce, to remind, to tell that if you like our podcast and you're a big fan of it, or even if you don't like it and you want to tell an enemy about it just to play a horrible trick on them, we would love to know what you think about our show. We would love for you to comment. You can comment in the video or below the video, or you can email either one of us at nipsoproductions@gmail.com if you're interested. So, Denis, top 3 skits.
Yes, the top 3 skits from last week's show.
From last week's show.
Jason, my Sharona.
Yes. Gosh, we'll get this right. This guy's name, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that was the name that he went with, really?
Yeah, no. So what are your top 3 skits?
Here are my top 3 skits, okay? And again, it was a pretty good show, and I liked kind of selecting these. I have my number 3 is actually kind of weird, and I don't think it's going to be on your list at all. And actually, I watched it about 3 times just to make sure that I wanted it on my list, period. Weird as it was, I thought the premise was actually kind of funny. And some of these skits that I chose, I feel like just the premise, just like the idea, the concept was really funny to me. Number 3 for me was First Impression, where Jason, Aquaman, played the father of Melissa Villaseñor, and Beck Bennett played the boyfriend, and they were meeting for the first time. And I love that. I love that concept, father-in-law meeting the future son-in-law or the boyfriend for the very first time. And it just got so ridiculous. And
yes, it did.
The fact that he was like getting into this kind of cat and mouse or hide and seek game. At first I was like, I didn't laugh as much as I did the first time. But then the third time, like I said, I was mainly laughing because I was telling myself like, God, this is stupid. But I'm still laughing, and I like that. And sometimes that happens, sometimes it happens. So First Impression was number 3 for me. Number 2, I'm going to go with Rudolph's Big Night. Rudolph's Big Night. Here's a couple reasons why I liked it. Now, here's the thing. The host was not as featured in it. I mean, he kind of played like a supporting role. He played Santa in this role. Yeah. But again, I love this premise of Rudolph being picked on, played by Pete Davidson. Yes. Who actually did a really, really good job.
Yes.
Who actually really did a really good job. And I loved it. And I loved what he was saying. And I loved how he delivered it.
It was excellent.
It was excellent. So Rudolph's Big Night is my second one. And my number 1, this one actually did make me laugh out loud. Again, love the concept of it, and the dialogue and the writing was just solid for me. And that's going to be Elf on the Shelf, where he said, Santa, I want a new kid, because of all the weird shit that he was doing, that he was having to see. So those are my top 3. And again, I'm going to say this because we've said this before. This is the first time in a while where I feel like I didn't necessarily have to struggle to find them. I feel like there was a lot of good material. I had fun sitting there going, this one and that one and that one,
Some weeks it's hard to find a top 3 and you're like, okay, I really liked maybe 2 of these sketches, and the other ones are kind of lumped together and they're okay, but they weren't great. Right. This week was totally different. I could have gone 5 deep, 6 deep.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in honorable mentions, but I agree with you 100%. My number 3 was the Big Boy Appliances, the film of the Big Appliances. Yes. I just found that amusing. Again, a funny twist on, an old favorite. The battery for the Ryder vacuum cleaner was just too much for me. I couldn't take it. So that was my number 3. And again, I could have gone 4 or 5 on these. There's some that were really, really funny, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, during honorable mentions. It's funny because my number 2 was also Rudolph's Big Night. Wow, Davidson was just fantastic. As the trash talking Rudolph, I absolutely loved it. I loved the concept I loved the whole everything. And when he shot Comet, I fell out of my chair. I absolutely thought this was brilliant. One of the best Christmas sketches they've had in a while. I'll say
totally.
And then the first number one, I couldn't breathe. I actually had to put pause on the show because I was laughing too hard. But yes, it was Elf on the Shelf. How could you not like Scrappy? And with 13-year-old Marshall, and just the way he acted the whole time, and that's why I said in the beginning about him being a host. He acted goofy in a couple skits, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a minute. But he was so dry in this one.
He was.
Can I just have another kid? And just the way he acted, so defeated and so disgusted in what Scrappy was seeing, and trying to explain it without grossing everyone out. Yes. And sometimes when he said he's looking at me, I was crying. I had to pause. When he said he's looking, and sometimes he's looking at me, and I just love, like, he's looking right at me.
And he's making me a part of it.
And I just, wonderful sketch. One of the best Christmas sketches they've had in a long time was Elf on the Shelf, which yeah, absolutely. So our number one, number two were the same this time.
Yeah.
And just the three was different, but I did like First Impression, and I thought it was funny. Some other honorable mention. We haven't talked about the opening. We always include that in our sketches.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro as the watching Robert Mueller with the eyes and what got me, my favorite line, maybe of any Trump era parody, was when they said, well, first off, the Trump boys. I mean, those
Who
guys,
loves them? Yeah,
they're fantastic. They have perfected the Trump boys. So
yes.
To see them open the show, I was excited because I do think they do that very well. But he said, this is the worst day of our dad's life. And he said, no, getting elected was the worst thing that ever happened to your dad.
Yes.
And wow.
Yep.
Wow, what a line. And what a way to open the show. So that's, to me, the opening, Joseph, was really on.
Yeah, so I couldn't agree with you more. And like I said, I really did like the other skits. Like,
me too.
I love Cecily as Gemma. I always love her as Gemma.
Yeah.
I've seen it before. I didn't choose it, but I still love it. I love the fact that they tried to include a little bit of Game of Thrones character for Khal Drogo's Ghost Dojo.
Yes.
It was okay. Here's the thing, and I'm going to say something. This wasn't my favorite skit, but this is what I'm talking about, and this is what you're talking about. So An Extra Christmas Carol wasn't my favorite skit, but I appreciate what he was willing to do.
Yes.
To make us laugh.
To be goofy.
To
wear a cape and dance around and gyrate and be silly.
Yes, and so, like I said, and this one I recognized, okay, for the most part, I liked all of them, and even the ones that weren't my favorite, I still liked.
Well, Day of the Dorks, where he plays Beef.
Yes, Beef.
I really love that. Now, I would have been a little disappointed if they used that kind of character every time.
Right.
But they didn't. That was the one time he played the big dumb guy, the big muscular dumb guy just hitting things.
Yes.
And to me, that was funny because it wasn't in the whole show. It was just that one skit, and that to me made it great.
Yes. No, they definitely did. See, here's the thing. They definitely did a very good job of diversifying what he was doing.
Yeah, I think we named just about we just named, I think, every skit on the show.
Yeah, so
I don't think we missed one.
It goes along with what you said. I can see, if somebody else is listening to this show, which they're not, them agreeing with you in terms of it could be. I mean, it is. It's up there for me.
Absolutely.
Adam Driver for me really sold it. But this is definitely. I was really pleased with this show.
Very pleased. Very excited. Great show after a couple, to be quite frank, that were not as great as we were hoping.
Exactly.
And this one definitely lived up to its billing. And now we have one more left until the calendar year is over, and they take a little hiatus, and that is with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Coming up. So let's come back and talk a little bit about Matt Damon. And take a break. If that's all right.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be here. We have some lovely parting gifts for you to your right as you leave.
Oh, all cool. Right. I hope it's stationary stuff or like a mouse pad or something.
It is. It's a couple sheets of paper on an office pad and a broken pencil, but it is sharpened.
Well, we're just starting out anyway, so that's that sounds about appropriate,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And a hearty handshake. And a Laurel and a hearty handshake.
Yeah, I'll pass on that, but I'll take the pencil and stuff.
Were you not a handshaker?
For some.
No. Oh. I see.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Well, isn't that special?
I mean, I'm not saying. So let me clarify. It's not you personally. I don't know. It's I don't know, man. It's just every time you put that hand out, that giant mitt of yours, it's just something kind of throws me off, and then I end up, pretending I have a phone call or something. So
I wash my hands all the time. They're
clean.
Then,
I understand that, but I think, not to be offensive, man, but where does the ham smell come from then?
Yeah, the ham smell. I've heard that before.
Okay,
they used to call me. They called me Piglet in school. So, I've heard that before. That's a medical condition. I didn't want to share that with you, and I don't want to get too personal. But
oh yeah, I know. I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's okay. I have my own parking place in a lot of places now because of it. But
so it has its perks.
Yeah, I guess. But I'll be forced to have ham smelling hands the rest of my life, and I feel like such a freak sometimes. Oh, hey, Linda, how are you?
Oh,
okay,
Linda,
yeah, we're back.
So sorry.
Let's talk about next week's Saturday Night Live show featuring Matt Damon and I believe Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus, question mark is, exclamation point.
She had another name.
Was it Hannah Montana?
Oh, is that who she was?
That's the one
I thought she was Drake and Josh. Isn't she Drake and Josh?
No, that's another show. I don't know Disney shows, but I'm pretty sure she was Hannah Montana.
She was Hannah Montana. Okay.
She was Hannah Montana, yeah.
Hannah Montana. Yes, and so she's going to be the musical guest, I guess?
She is, which is kind of interesting because she has actually hosted before.
She has. It'll be interesting.
So this will be interesting.
Put her in a couple skits. We'll see.
Yeah.
Matt Damon made a brilliant appearance this year as Kavanaugh in the Senate hearings.
Yes.
So I guess, what are your expectations for Matt Damon?
Here are my expectations, and I could either eat everything that I'm about to say, and I could be very foolish. I think Matt Damon is perfect for SNL, and here's why. Ooh. He has hosted SNL before. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times, but I'm a huge 30 Rock fan. I own every season. He was featured on seasons 4 and 5 of 30 Rock, and he is, in my opinion, he's one of those people who I think we love. Dennis, he'll do it. He'll get a laugh. So I don't think this is going to be new territory. I'm going to say for me, this is my theory. I don't think this is going to be new territory for Mr. Damon at all. I think now again, I think he's going to do a decent job. Is the writing going to be decent in order to accommodate what he's going to be capable of doing? I don't know. But I feel that he is going to be definitely game, and he's not necessarily going to be one of those people where it's like he phones it in, or you can tell he's reading off the cue cards, or they're just kind of using him as a supplemental character. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna throw that out there.
He's done some goofy stuff in the past. It is only his second time hosting. His first time was 2002. So it's been 16 years since he hosted. He's made 2 cameos, one in 2001, and then, of course, the most recent one, December 10th of 2011. So there's a third one, actually, would be this year. But he's hosted once before. He has, in the past, been on TV shows and movies where he has spoofed himself very well and fairly successfully. So I think he's one that's going to make sport of himself.
Yeah.
I think he's one that's going to make sport of anything they want him to, and I think it's going to be a good show. I'm excited about him hosting. I think he's going to be a good one to host the show without a question.
Okay, yeah. You sounded a little reluctant or apprehensive there.
I just, without Ben Affleck at his side, I don't know. It's almost like having Laurel without Hardy, but I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure him and Ben are fine. I'm sure they're fine. They're fine. Not gonna worry about him. I'm sure he's fine. He's gonna be fine.
They'll always be fine. They'll always be fine, Dennis.
Matt will be fine. He's fine. He'll do a great job. I already know. And I'm excited to talk about it next week. Speaking of next week, do you hear the music?
I hear it, but I don't want to, man.
Yeah, I know, but the band is playing us out. But we still have a little time to wrap everything up. Isn't this fun? Are we having fun?
3 hours goes by so fast, man,
I know.
and it's just a blast.
Linda, fun? Okay, yeah.
All right, that's uncalled for,
on.
Linda. You don't have to
That
trust
motion is not something I need to see coming from a lady of your age. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, it is fun to talk about the show. We hope you enjoyed thinking about Saturday Night Live. Let us know your thoughts, please. Good or bad or ugly. We look forward to another fine episode of this Saturday Night Review show very soon. But until then, he's still Joseph.
And he's still Dennis.
And we are out of here.
Bye.
All I'm saying is this ham thing it's a generational thing. It skips a generation, but my grandpa, he would go out and dogs would attack his hands. I mean, it was that bad.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's like a secret mutant ability. I don't know how you spin it.
Ham man.